Hello, this is Coffee Break with Ninita, a daily guide of coping skills that gets us through by making us strong.
My name is George. I'm one of the members here at StayWHOLE, part of the StayWHOLE community. And for the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of the editing of the podcast. Today, I wanted to do one of the podcasts. And the reason why is because of who we're doing these podcasts this week about. Our friend from the local Dunkin' Donuts, who in the podcast series Coffee Break with Ninita, we're calling Joe. The reason why I wanted to do this podcast is because of what Joe meant to me, what he meant to all of us at StayWHOLE. You see, Joe was the type of person who, although he worked in a fast-paced, challenging environment like food service, at Dunkin' Donuts, where there's a lot of volume and there's a lot of people who are coming in and who want their coffee, who want their egg and cheese sandwich, who want it fast so they can get out the door and go to work, Joe always spoke to you like you were a friend of his. He spoke to you warmly. He was positive. Could have had many challenges throughout the day, but he always had a positive attitude, and he always treated you like you were important and you were special to him. That is such a tough thing to do. And as I've been editing the Coffee Break with Ninita podcast, and I've been seeing and understanding the different things and the different ways in which StayWHOLE can help us to deal with our challenges and to move towards being whole in the way that we approach our life, in the way that we approach our challenges, in the way that we approach our relationships, I can't help to think that Joe, the way he communicated and connected with me, seemed to understand the things that we teach, the things that Ninita talks about in her podcast. You know, Joe could easily, like Ninita said in her podcast on Monday and Wednesday, he could have easily let the stress of the day impact the way that he talked to his customers. I mean, who doesn't do that at work? You put your head down and you move forward and you get the job done. And if you connect with someone, great. But Joe prioritized connecting with people. And it didn't seem like it was just because it was his business and it was bringing people into the door, into the restaurant. He seemed to enjoy connecting with people, to getting to know the people that walked in the door. He liked to know what they liked to order. He liked to know that their family member came in and he could say, "Hey, I saw your family member. I saw your kids. They're doing so well. They're so big." Either way, when he talked to you, when he spoke with you, like I said before, he made you feel like you were a friend of his. I don't know the day that he died. I wasn't there. I didn't realize it until 2 months after. And the way that I realized it, I'm kind of ashamed of. There are times during the day, during the week, throughout life, that the challenges can get to me. I haven't perfected the StayWHOLE method. I'm trying, just like all of us here. And after I stopped seeing Joe, I would go and there would be other people there who would do their best, but they weren't Joe. They would always work hard to make you happy, but they weren't Joe. And one day I came home with an order, and it was 3 egg and cheese sandwiches for the kids. And the egg and cheese sandwiches had bacon on it. And the kids don't eat bacon. Now, this is a simple solution. All you do is you take the bacon off. There's no need for it to be anything more than that. But for some reason that day, maybe I forgot all the podcasts that I listened to. I wanted to make a point. I wanted to call the Dunkin' Donuts and I wanted to let them know that my egg and cheese sandwich had bacon on it, and that Joe would not have gotten it wrong. And I was going to ask, where is Joe? Because Joe would know exactly what my kids wanted to eat. That was my intention. And I know that that's not the way I should have done it. I know that now, especially. But in the moment, that's what I was trying to do. So I called up and I asked them, hey, can you tell me where Joe is? I haven't seen him in a while. I'm curious where he is. And I was already preparing my follow-up until they told me where Joe was. And the lady said, oh, in December, Joe passed away. And immediately, my auto response went out the window. And immediately I realized just how unimportant what I was calling about really was. What I really was calling about really was. And I should have honestly been calling about just to find out where Joe was because I cared about Joe. Because Joe brightened up my day. And when I found out what happened to Joe, it hit me just what kind of a person Joe was. And how much more he was than just getting an egg and cheese sandwich correct. An egg and cheese sandwich order correct. Joe's somebody who for the last 10 years that I've been going into that Dunkin' Donuts was planting seeds. He was planting seeds of what it means to interact with people, to treat people with respect, to treat people graciously, to treat people like they're your friends, to connect with people. Joe was planting those seeds and I didn't know he was until I found out that he was gone. And I realized just how much it impacted me that he was gone. Just how much he actually meant to me. And still means to me. Just how much he meant to Ninita, just how much he meant to Alina, just how much he meant to everyone within our family and within the StayWHOLE family. Joe, through his interactions with us, through the way that he treated people, had an impact on us, had an impact on people. A lot of times in life, we think that to have an impact in the world, to change the world, to change our communities, we have to do something with grandeur. Look at the advertisements for the holidays. All the presents and all the things that they advertise for you to buy are grandiose, are big. Diamonds, gold, whatever the case may be. A big bouquet of flowers. And that's okay. I'm not saying that's not okay. That's not the only way to impact people. Joe impacted people, and he impacted us profoundly by being a good person, by being someone who, in the storm of challenges, was a light that was shining through, was someone who greeted you, who made you feel like you were part of their family, who made you feel that they cared about you. That's what Joe did. That's what he did for us. And by doing that, he impacted us, and I'm sure he impacted a lot of people that he came across. He did change his community, and by changing his community, he changed the world. So this week, we dedicated to the owner of the local Dunkin' Donuts, who we are calling Joe. Because Joe, in his interactions with people, in the way that he treated people, and in the impact that he had, was worthy, was warm, was happy, was honest, was optimistic, was loving, was enlightened. Our friend Joe was whole.
We thank you for listening to Coffee Break with Ninita. Our goal is to help our StayWHOLE community work through their challenges. Please join this cause by supporting us on Patreon. You can do that for the price of just 1 cup of coffee per month. Just click on the Patreon link in the podcast description below, or simply visit us at www.patreon.com/StayWHOLE. We appreciate you and hope we can help you stay whole.